So there's a stage in every art business where everything's working, but it's not quite working enough. And at that stage, growth isn't about fixing something, it's about refining what you already have so it works better. Hi, I'm Kelly and I draw things. And today you're going to sit in on a strategy call with Christa of Luminis Soul Studios and everything we talked about with her business. So Christa is an artist specializing in fantasy, metaphysical, and book-themed prints. And she's already doing a lot right. She's selling, she has her brand, she has her voice, she's exploring wholesale, she's showing up, she's doing all these really great things. But she was feeling really stressed across like a billion different channels. And she wasn't really sure what to focus on and what to kind of let, fall by the wayside. And so in our call, we talked about that and we narrowed it down together. So we talked about choosing one foundational growth channel. We broke down how to streamline a wholesale line. We go over what makes product photography trustworthy to buyers, and we map out a focused 90-day plan, which if you're familiar, 90-day is a quarter of a year, right? There's 4 quarters in a year. So a quarterly system is what a lot of people use. So if you're interested in how to refine what you're already doing in your art business instead of having to rebuild it every single time, this is going to be a helpful video for you. Let's jump in. Hi, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Okay, let me get so I have notes I'm going to be writing down and reading from just so you know what I'm doing when I'm not looking at you. You're like, what are you doing? That's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so to start us off, tell us a little bit about your business and what you sell.
Okay, chill. I have an art business and I right now currently sell prints. My niche and kind of people that I am geared towards ultimately is fantasy, people who love fantasy, metaphysical or witchy and bookish art is kind of my whole art deal. But currently what I have right now, with how small I am, I have witchy goddess prints that I stock in metaphysical stores and stuff and sell through that and wholesale and things. And I'm just trying to figure out kind of what to do because I'm a little lost in the sauce of everything because I'm still really new, especially to social media. So I know how to do kind of some consignment stuff, but that's kind of where I'm at with that. Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good. So what do you want to walk away with today?
Just maybe I mean, I'm pretty chill. So ultimately it's just whatever. But I think it would be chill to kind of have a direction to go in because right now I'm do I need to have a website? What about a newsletter? Maybe I need to figure out Instagram and TikTok and figure out how to do videos and I need to figure out how to do fair and everything all at once is just really getting to me and it's making me kind of feel like I'm not really making progress in a lot of things because I don't really know what right now with me being very new to social media and trying to expand beyond the 3 stores I'm in and stuff, what should I really be focusing on? And I also have an Etsy store, so there's just a lot where I'm trying to figure out, and I don't really know a good direction to start with kind of how new I am.
Do you feel overwhelmed?
Yes.
All right. Good. No, not good, but Okay. So I think generally people get overwhelmed because they're trying to do everything at once, which is, maybe sounds like to me that that might be what where we're at. Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite thing that you like out of all of the art stuff that you do, like in terms of markets or Etsy or wholesale, or one that you feel like is working better than everything else?
Well, it's a bit of a tricky question, even though it sounds like it's not. So I have a lot of health problems. So I would have said because in the past I've done them, I love art markets, but currently I can't do them because of my health. Currently, the thing that brings me the most success, but I wouldn't say lights me up inside is I have 3 or 4 metaphysical shops I do consignment with, and it really works with me and my health. And it's nice, but it's not something where I'm man, I wake up every day and I love doing this. And, for me, I think something that would be really fun that I'd really love to do, but it's a newer thing. And I don't want to do it because I want to add it on to everything else. Is I'd love to do a mail club kind of based deal, where I send prints and stuff and everything. And I have an idea of it and kind of already have it all mapped out and stuff. But I'm just kind of with everything else that I got going on, I don't know if that's a good idea right now.
Yeah, I think to add something, you need to get rid of something because I'm gonna suggest you get rid of something anyway if you're if you're overwhelmed. So instead of adding things, consolidating would be my best guess. How do you feel about your Etsy?
I don't really like it. Mainly just
Okay.
because I don't, so I'm like very new to social media. I just made all my social media like 3 months ago. I get very scared with video content, so I haven't done any. And so like I have a Facebook and I'm like trying to drive traffic to my Etsy, but it's kind of like bare bones. Like I don't really, I think I've made maybe like 2 or 3 sales from people I don't know off of Etsy, and that's about it. And I've worked really hard on my Etsy to like have good photos, good descriptions, trying to work on SEO, but it just doesn't really feel like what I'm putting into it is like coming back out of it, you know what I mean? But besides like wholesale, it's kind of like the only other thing that I have right now that would bring me
Okay.
revenue.
So you mentioned wholesale. Are you doing wholesale in addition to consignment?
Kind of. So currently what I have lined up is I have 3 stores I do consignment in, and then I have one store that I just did wholesale with that's near me, so I went in store. I like came to your last meeting and everything, and I'm a part of your Patreon and stuff. And I
I
will say
know.
something else that
Thank you for that.
yeah, no, I love your stuff. I will say another thing that really lights me up that I really love, and I think it's like a brilliant thing that really worked for me, but I'm not sure how to do it, is I thought that your idea of like sending like physical mail to like get wholesale and do fair that way, I love that idea. Like I'm like, I think that'd be really great for me. Like that'd make me light up almost as much as like the mail club would, like if those were my 2 things, and maybe consignment like here and there. But I just don't really know what to do with that. But currently, I just have 3 consignment stores, one wholesale that I just did, and then I have an Etsy. And so that's all I got right now.
What products are you selling wholesale
I
slash
sell,
consignment?
it's just art prints. So I have 5x7 and 8x10s. I'll say most of the time it's the 5x7 art prints that get the wholesale. I did the wholesale 5x7 and then consignment to mostly 5x7s that sell as well.
Are
So.
you packaging them? Are they naked? Are they like
No, no,
how
you're
are
good.
you?
Yeah, so I like package them. So they're like heavy cardstock prints themselves, but then I also have black chipboard that I put behind them, and then they're also in sleeves. So pretty nice and packaged and
Yeah,
everything.
that's also
So
a great system. Chipboard. Sorry, I write
you're totally
lots.
fine. I will say too, like I've been so like the social media and like all of this is kind of new. I've done consignment now for over a year. And then the wholesale, I've done wholesale in the past one other time, but it just did not really go that well. So like getting my stuff in stores and then like making my product look good for like store stuff, I know that I got that pretty down. And I even have the system of like some stores will be like, hey, I need you to like print labels and stuff. That's pretty good. It's mostly just the other stuff that's like, so.
Have you done all the wholesale lessons or all the wholesale lessons? Those are not yet. Those are out next year. All the Launchpad lessons so far.
I've
Up.
caught up to the point. I think there's 1 or 2 that I'm missing so far
Okay, let
that
me.
you've watched recently.
I in my head, I'm in April, so let me see what's actually available.
No, you're
Okay,
fine.
so 3.1 and 3.2 are available to you. So you have you done the identify your customer with with that 10-page worksheet that's a monster?
I didn't get the chance to do the worksheet
Okay.
yet, but I did manage to watch the video and stuff, and it actually kind of really helped me a lot. Like, I don't know if this will help you, but it
Wonderful.
helped me a lot because I was like in my brain, I've been really sticking myself in a box where I'm like, I can only do metaphysical stuff. That's the only thing that's selling, and it was like really burning me out. And I'm like, you were really describing like, oh, I do cats, I do dinosaurs, I do this, and like people who like this and that. And it was like, okay, maybe I could do people who love fantasy and people who love books and people who do witchy things because they all kind of correlate in some ways. So like open my brain, but I do have to do the worksheet for sure.
So how would you define like metaphysical? What does that mean to you in terms of theme for your work?
Um, so it's and if you're not woo-woo or this is weird, that's fine, but it's like very much like practitioners. I mean, my art prints are open to people who love mythology too. I genuinely love mythology, but for like I found that metaphysical people is like people who practice like witchy, like people who
Okay.
maybe work with like gods and goddesses, just things like that.
Is it a religion or is it not quite as structured as a religion? I'm just learning here.
Oh no, you're totally fine. So it's kind of a hard question because like it just depends on who you ask. And some people, they practice like specific stuff, so they could be like Wiccan or whatever besides Christianity. Some people are more intuitive. They just call themselves a practitioner. Some people are pagan. So it just depends on who you talk to. But overall, like in the metaphysical community, that's kind of why I call it, because I don't really have like a one fits all.
Okay.
You'll find that a lot of people genuinely, whether they work with them or not, because some people do work with gods and goddesses, so that's why they buy my stuff. But a lot of them love mythology too, so it kind of just correlates.
Gotcha. And then I saw on Etsy, it's mostly portraits of gods and goddesses. Are there other things that you're putting out there that I didn't see when I creeped?
Oh no, you're fine. So not currently, because it wasn't until I saw your video recently that I was like, oh, I could probably do more than this. So I was like fitting myself in this box because for the past year or so, I was like, okay, this is pretty much the only thing that people really like because I do have like one print I think on my Etsy that kind of shows like my other style. It's my Icarus one. And it's more like storytelling, fantasy stuff. And when I stalked it in shops, people weren't really like buying those as much. So I was kind of like, I don't really know if I could like get this to work. So I kind of dropped it and stuck with the portraits because that's kind of what people were buying currently. But I mean, in the future, it'd be really cool. I'd love
Mhm.
if maybe I did like drops every now and then, like on a store or something outside of consignment, but that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, great. Okay, so based off of my initial interrogation, do I have any other questions? I think since you're not super excited about Etsy, I wouldn't focus on that today. I'd kind of like to talk to you about wholesale and maybe getting you set up to do that because you said this sounded
Yeah,
excited.
it really
I,
is.
as someone who runs a mail club, it's more work than we than we think it is, and putting more work on you isn't something that I would recommend.
Okay.
So let's talk about wholesale and kind of get you an idea of how to get started on that and kind of make a plan for that. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in talking about today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally like, it really does excite me. Like the mail, like even if my whole business one day was just mail club and wholesale, that would be great. I would love that.
Well,
So yeah,
and it can be. So social media is tricky because people are like, I have to have social media. Not really. I'm actually scaling back my social media. I have it to prove I'm a person.
yeah,
And I've been posting every day for a while. And I'm like, I'm tired and my clients aren't on social media. They're running their stores because they're busy. And so like I'm actually scaling back next quarter to like one post a week. And it's more like a blog. Like, look, here's what I did.
yeah,
Here's a sticker.
nice.
Enjoy. And so you don't have to have all the channels, even though we all think that we have to have, everything going on. You could just do wholesale in the mail club, and that might work. Now, thing with the mail club, you have to bring people to it. So social media is kind of tied into that. So that's a little
Yeah,
tricky there. But okay, so let's talk about wholesale. So I'm going to kind of run you through how I do wholesale. So since you did mention that you liked that like sending like mail out to people type of
yeah,
thing. So, a little bit about my business. I don't know what you know, so I'm just gonna like start from the beginning. So, I sell bookmarks, stickers, coloring books, and notepads, and I sell them wholesale to other businesses, which means they come to me and they go, "We want to buy in bulk," and I say, "Okay," and so I sell it to them at a big discount because they are buying in bulk, and then they stock it in their shops and they sell it to their customers. So, my method is. I go and I make a list of all the types of stores that my products would work in. So you mentioned metaphysical stores. Do you have like other types of stores or shops or things like in terms of theme that you think would carry similar products? Do you have any ideas off the top of your head?
yeah. So I did actually like before I even found you, I made a list of like shops to reach out to. So I do have metaphysical shops that I have a list of already. I
Great.
was maybe thinking about after watching your video too, it really inspired me of like, I live in Tennessee and we have like the Pantheon kind of like big Greek
Yeah.
building. And so it made me really open my mind to be like, I don't really know if it fits the vibes, but I know there's probably museums that have like history, like Greek stuff. So that was like a new avenue that I was like kind of thinking about as well, maybe checking into wholesale and like making a list of like places for that as well. So with my current like stock of art that I have available, that's kind of what I would be looking at. And if I can like kind of get to the point where like the god and goddess prints, like I get wholesale going, I'd like to kind of expand out and maybe do like bookmarks and like I do other like vaguer things besides like gods and goddesses, but I know based off of like my fantasy art or like bookmarks or dragons and stuff, I was thinking like, okay, I could do bookstores or I could do, there was another one that I thought of, but I have thought about this and I do have this, but with my current stock, all that I have is metaphysical and maybe museums.
So would you want to start like doing fantasy art as well? Is that what I'm kind of hearing, or did I mishear that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
cool.
love to expand to do that and maybe some like bookish, like art based off of like books that I've read. But
Okay. So that's tricky because that gets into intellectual property stuff. So like if it's public domain like Winnie the Pooh or Sherlock Holmes and stuff, we can, but otherwise it has to be kind of like general book themed and not specific books.
yeah.
So all right, I just plugged into the internet and what did I say? I said types of stores like metaphysical stores to sell wholesale. There are all sorts of things like crystal and gemstone stores, witchcraft supply stores, astrology and tarot stores, new age spiritual stores. And then if you want to go like the wellness and like self learning and self like motivated route, you have, I mean, meditation centers, wellness centers, all of that stuff. You have spiritual bookstores are a thing,
Yeah.
journal workshop, like all sorts of stuff. So I'm gonna encourage you to like brainstorm on different kinds of stores that you could reach out to.
Yeah.
That would be something. But then with fantasy as well. I mean, I'm a little bit more familiar with that. So off the top of my head, I mean, we have bookstores, we have game shops, we have Renfest, is very fantasy. We
Yeah.
have, I mean, like all sorts of stuff that's like fantasy slash book
Yeah.
could go in there too, and they can all kind of overlap. But so what I do is I go through and I make a list of all the stores that could possibly be interested potentially in my stuff. So I just released my dinosaur line in January, and so I went through and I found every natural history museum that had both a gift shop and a dinosaur exhibit. And then there are all sorts of like dinosaur themed shops around the United States. I literally went state by state, city by city, and just plugging into Google Maps and like seeing what came up. And then I have a big Excel sheet, and it has like the name of the store and the address, and then I find the owner name and I find like an email address and things like that. And I just make a big list of all the stores that I think would want to carry my stuff.
Yeah.
And then I go through and I send them mail first. A lot of people say email them first. I think it's a waste of time because how many emails do we get every day, right? Like no one likes getting emails, and I'm confident in my product. I know if they can feel it,
Mhm.
then I mean that's a good thing. And and it'll like help like push what I'm trying to show them. Like, look, I have good quality work and things. So I actually just send the letter first. And so I will address it, Museum of Natural History or whatever it is, and then attention, and then the name of the buyer is usually who like the name of the person that's buying for wholesale, or the like gift shop owner or things like that,
Okay.
or the shop owner if it's like a bookshop. And then I'll put the address, right, and I'll
Yeah.
send it. And then I wait 2 weeks, and then I go and I email everyone, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Kelly. I sent you some samples. Did you get them? Do you have any questions? Here's my store link." Da 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 da. Okay, and then I kind of do like a second touch base, and between that when I've mailed and when I have sent the email, I follow them on social media, and I have that way they're like they've seen me a few times by then, and then I will if I don't hear back, I'll follow up in like 6 months and be like, hey, did you get were you or like checking in again, things like that. But that's kind of my system,
Okay.
and it's worked pretty well. I had my very first five-figure month in January, which was
Hey,
really great.
girl.
Me too.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go.
And because I did all of this and I finally lined it all up and it worked, I was like, great, let me tell everyone on the Launchpad.
Go.
They can do it too. Yeah. So that's what I do. And so I think the biggest thing for you right now is to get your wholesale squared away and kind of like maybe working that system, because since you already are in some stores and you kind of know the stores that you like to sell in, that would be good. But that's why I asked about that video, because we do have like what kind of shops do those people sell in, and that's going to be kind of your key from
Yeah.
that worksheet. So does that sound like some like a process that you'd be interested in, or does that sound like a terrible time?
Oh no, no, like I came to your last Q&A session and I was the one that was kind of like asking questions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I was watching like some of your videos and everything, and then I was kind of like I had made a list, and I know that my stuff sells because I've done consignment and I make like a decent amount just from like those stores I'm in. Um, and so I saw like you were doing wholesale. It just gets tiring doing consignment and then putting a bunch of money out and stuff. And that was like the part that was like, I don't know. And then I saw you and you're like, yeah, I do wholesale. It's easier, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay. And so I think honestly, like the main thing after like watching your video and then asking questions now with this process that I'm a little nervous about is like, do you basically like how do you work doing the wholesale part? Like you do fair and then you send them to your fair. Like whenever you send the email to follow up, do you have it in there and be like, hey, if you're interested in this, come to this link, and it's like a link to your fair where you do wholesale through
Okay,
there.
I got you. Okay, so before I forget, Paper Camp by Katie Hunt is a wholesale intensive workshop. It is pricey. It's upwards of $2,000 now. I saved for a year to do it. And so out of respect for her, I don't share what she taught me, but I do share what I learned on my own or what I've, learned since
For sure.
like doing things on my own way. But she has a really great program. So I'm just going to plug that before I forget. But okay, so I have a website, kellylatham.com. Okay. It houses everything right now. I'm actually rebranding a little bit, so it'll be a little different here in a minute. It'll be my portfolio about halfway through the year, I hope, if I reach my deadline. But my products live on kellylatham.com as of right now. And so if you go to that website up at the top, it's open to the public. Anyone can look at it. It says
Yeah.
wholesale, and you can click on it, and it'll have a bunch of information. It'll have two buttons about midway through. It has a button to fair, which you have to be a fair account to get to, or I have my own catalog, and I sell through both. So in the email, I will direct them to that. I think it's kellylatham.com/wholesale info.
Okay.
And that way they can be like, do I want to look at her catalog on her website, or do I want to go to fair? Now, 95, maybe 98% of my wholesale orders are through fair just because it's really easy for them and it's really easy for me. But people do like to order direct. So we just had the fair market, which is like a big event twice a year. And I have no idea how many orders, many, like maybe 30, and I got one directly through me. So the other 29 were through
Okay.
fair. So that's where I link them to. And so to sell wholesale, you have to have a few things set up. One, you have to have your pricing, and you price it as, so if you're selling, well, how much are you selling your art prints for on your Etsy?
So for wholesale that I've done currently, after doing a lot of research, I like costs about $1.50 to get like all of the chipboard and stuff. And then I tell them in shops because this is just from my experience. I sell them on Etsy for about $15, but that includes the price of shipping. Without shipping is about 10. And they sell for like $10 pretty well in consignment stores. So the recommended price that I tell them is like sell it for 10. The wholesale price is 5.
Yep.
And
Okay. Yep. That's exactly right. That's what I would sell it for. So wholesale is 5, and then you have a minimum order quantity. That's how many they have to order of one design to be able to buy wholesale, and then you have a minimum order amount, which is the dollar amount they have to reach with all the different designs that they order. So like my bookmarks, I sell $3 retail and 150 wholesale. They have to buy 12 of a design of a bookmark. Now they can buy more, obviously, but 12 is the minimum. So like they'll buy, 10 different designs. That's 120 bookmarks total at least, because it's 12 per design.
yeah.
So you need to figure out your minimums of what you would minimally sell. I would minimally sell 6 at a time of each design. It would be an MOQ, minimum order quantity. And then for minimum wholesale order amount for initial orders, 150 is a good minimum, like standard, especially for like art people and stationery and prints and things like that. And
Mhm.
then 100 for a reorder. Now, these are also the fair standards that they recommend. So you can go higher. I wouldn't go lower. But I mean, those are mine are. And then you need a catalog or somewhere to send them. So either you need to be on Fair, or what I recommend is having a website and Fair. And a catalog can just be a PDF. Are you familiar with design software, Adobe or Canva or Procreate or anything like that?
Yeah, I've had Procreate forever, and like I also do Canva. It was another question I was gonna ask is like I wasn't really sure like what the catalogs should look like if you make them yourself. I found a few, but it was just very confusing. So like I found that you could like go on Canva and make a catalog, but I didn't know like what the best practice of like what a good catalog looks like versus a confusing one was my main issue with that, and that's why I haven't really made a catalog yet.
Okay. Go look at mine. It's it's up. You can see it on my website. But people think of catalog of like a closed catalog where you have lots of photos and fashion photos and lifestyle and things like that. And you can have some of that in there, but mostly it is white background, easy to read image, and then a bunch of info under it and everything they would need to know. And people organize it by item and then sometimes theme if you have enough items to put into themes. Like I pulled all of my dinosaur stuff out into separate pages because I was marketing to museums. They didn't really care about the cat bookmark, right? They're there for the dinosaur stuff. It does makes it easier for them. But you can build your own template in Canva and then just use it for each page. But essentially, I would do, I don't know, 12 or 9 to a page, depending on how big you want your images. And I would just do it standard letter paper size. And then just kind of line them up. And do you have a SKU system? Do you know what that is?
I don't have a SKU system. Okay, actually, I only know this because of you as well. But I think if I remember correctly, it's basically where you have like a system that like logs what you have and how many of each, if I got that correct.
So that's inventory, little different. So SKU is alphanumeric codes, which means it's a bunch of letters and a bunch of numbers put together. And it's a made up system just so you can organize things and so people can communicate. So like I have 23, I think it's a lot, 23 dinosaur stickers. That can't be right. That's a lot. Okay, 20, we'll call it 20 dinosaur stickers. And that way, if someone messages me and goes, hey, we need more of the dinosaur sticker, I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
but they go, hey, we need more of sticker 122. I'm like, okay, because my codes are I have 3 letters and 3 numbers, and that's my system. You can have it longer, you can have it shorter, but that way the 3 letters are short for whatever the item is, and the numbers are what the design is. So I have so for bookmarks it's BMK. And then I'll have like 001. That'll be my first design I ever did. And 002, that'll be my second design I ever did. And it can just go. I mean, until you run out of numbers, which you won't. So it
Yeah.
can go on forever. And so like bookmarks is BMK and then 3 numbers. And then stickers are STK, 3 numbers. And my notepads are NPD, 3 numbers. And so in the catalog, you want the name of the item, the SKU, so people can refer to it really easy instead of having to like remember the whole name. It's like, oh, it's art print 005 or
Mhm.
whatever. And then you want the price of the print, which be $5, and then the minimum order quality or order quantity, which I recommend being 6 minimum or up, whatever you want. And any other information you think would be pertinent, like if it's like Roman mythology or Greek mythology or Wicca inspired or fantasy inspired, or if it's from like a specific fairy tale, like anything that helps them understand maybe a little bit more about what it is. I wouldn't do big paragraphs of things because if they are interested in it, they're going to know some background information on it. And you can always, if they ask questions, you can always answer them, but you want to be concise in the catalog.
For sure.
So having an actual catalog people can go look at, so they don't have to order off Fair, is good and recommended. But most people order off Fair for me. Now, getting on Fair, I did it by accident, so I'm not a great person to give advice on that, but I just used my product photos that I had, and I had probably 30-ish products at that point, and I just applied with my stickers and my bookmarks, and I was like, look, things, and they were like, great, come on board. And I didn't even know what it was. Like I let it sit for 6 months before I ever did anything. So you don't have to have a wholesale catalog, but I do think it's a really good tool because then if someone asks you, oh, hey, do you sell wholesale? You can just send them directly to your catalog if you're not on Fair yet.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, because I mean, the only thing about fair, because I know that I have pretty good like photos and stuff, and everything like that.
Are they
I
the
would
same
just,
photos that are on your Etsy?
yes, unless you think that I need to change those and
They
maybe,
look AI generated.
oh, they do.
They
Okay.
do because they're all the exact same. And so I think having some like lifestyle shots. So I think the most interesting shots on your Facebook were the collab with the jewelry because you had all these different props and different things that kind of like push the storytelling behind it. And so I think if you brought in some of that, or even like, behind you, I see you have like plant stuff on your door. Pull that down, put it under it, put it around it,
Yeah.
like something to kind of like give it some like difference between them, but it could even be pertaining to what is, the story of the portrait. You don't want it to be distracting, but you do want it to be, interesting and nice and different. So,
Um, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
no,
you.
no, you're good. Go ahead.
So I do have like I didn't put them first and foremost because I was worried they didn't look good, but I do have some photos on some of my Etsys that are after the first photo. I was gonna pull up one to see if you thought that it looked good. Not all of them have it. Hang on, let me see if I can find one.
Let me
And scroll to the second photo.
hold
That
on.
was
Let
actually a
me.
photo that I took like myself, and like I have some with like a bunch of different crystals and flowers and stuff underneath it.
Okay,
Um,
where am I going?
yeah. Okay, scroll down. Yeah, keep going. Let's see. Okay, she should be up. Scroll back up. I think the Hades one has one too. Let's see. I guess she's not on there. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Okay, where it says Medusa, and it's the woman that has snakes in her
Yep.
hair. I think she has one too on her page. And then if you scroll, yeah, so I took that photo.
There we go. Yeah. So, and
So
then it's
some
just
of
you
those,
holding it.
no. So some of those I bought like mock-up photos and then I edited it on there to kind of like
Yeah.
be like, this is what it looked like because I
So
wasn't super
this
confident.
hand looks like an alien hand. Um, and I didn't want to say that if it was your hand because that would be rude. But
No, you're
um,
good.
so like this looks like AI generated, and on like fair and stuff, it's a lot about trust. And so having real photos, like even with your actual hand, just like holding it, or if you don't like your hands, find a friend, make them hold your art. I think like hand for scale can be really nice. But
Okay.
with all of them being the exact same, like here's the exact same leaf, and then here's the exact same like looking print. I think where they overlap, it's a little distracting, but I do think like having like the words behind it, like that's nice. That can be good.
Okay.
So yeah, I would work on photos. Like let me pull mine as an example. Okay. So this is scrapbook paper I bought at Michael's. And then I have my hand and it holds it. And
Okay.
then I have a few of them. So I can be like, look, there's more than one. I didn't Photoshop it. It's real. I could I could sell you multiples if you wanted. I have like them on like this, like the same backgrounds. And that's it. And that's really so that's all I had applying to fair. Let's see. I know I applied with this one where I didn't have the book yet. That's new, but I just had something like this where I go outside, I put
Yeah.
scrapbook paper in a box, and I lay it on my driveway, and then I stand over it and I take a picture in the sunlight. That's my
Okay.
photographing method.
So when you say like you put it in a box, because I might take this method and do this, I'm not
I
super
have
confident in the
a
photo.
clear box that I bought from Michael's that like holds scrapbook paper. It's the 12 by 12, and it
Okay.
just lives in there. And because it's not super high, so it doesn't cast like a shadow, but it also kind of protects it from the wind.
Yeah.
Um, what am I doing? Here I am. And so I literally just, okay, you know what I'm doing this weekend? I'm shooting that demo, and it'll be up next month on the Launchpad of how I photograph art. I also have a light box I'm going to figure out how to use and there we go, put it in there. So this was the exact photo I gave to Fair, and I only had one. And I was like, look, a product. Now I had more photos and more products, but like it was, like that was it. And they can see it's a real product, it's a real photo, like all is well. And that's what I did for photos for applying to fair.
Okay.
Now, where is my, there we go. This is bookmark number 1001. And yeah, see, 001. And so this is like my lifestyle shot. Like it's in a book. Look, it's a bookmark. Okay, this is my, oh, look, there's the back. How nice. And then there's multiples. That's fine. Here's my hand for scale. Here's another hand for scale because I took two and I liked them both, so I threw them in there. And that's really all I do because I'd rather spend more time drawing than editing a billion photos. But they are all a little different, even if it's like different backgrounds and things like that. But it's like the same setup, and that way people can tell them, like tell that they're different at a glance as well. But it also looks more real life because real
Yeah.
life is it's really difficult to be identical. I mean, even identical twins are not not really identical.
Yeah.
And so I think doing some photos that are a little bit more unique, I think would actually benefit you.
Okay, great. Yeah, that actually helps a lot. I'm not super confident in my photo skills, so I was like, I guess mock-ups would be all right. And then I just didn't think about the AI thing. So, okay. My last, so I guess like does social media not really, is that like not a big factor into fair then? Because I've heard kind of like mixed things of like you have to have social media and they check it, or sometimes that you don't. And that's kind of like the biggest thing too that I've been like, maybe I shouldn't apply for this because I only have like a Facebook page with like 250 people.
Well, always apply. But there are people on Fair who don't have businesses yet. Like they they're just starting out, like they're just building. I don't know if I had to give them my socials, but my Instagram was like a couple thousand people at that time, which wasn't like nothing, but I didn't have like here's my 80,000 followers. So I'm not sure I believe that they look at social media. I've never heard that.
Okay,
But
chill.
I also don't work for Fair. So
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
be wrong, but I've never heard of that personally.
that's okay. I just like currently the biggest social media that I have is like Facebook, and I have like 250 people on that, and like my Instagram has like 25 people because I just started and I'm not really like
Social media is
so
hard, because you have no control. Like it doesn't matter what you do, other like the algorithm isn't showing people or is showing people and all that stuff. So that's why I like the direct wholesale outreach because I know how to reach people. And
yeah,
once they see my products, like I have a really good percentage that actually buys. So
for sure.
that's my tactic on that. But yeah,
Yeah,
apply to fair, see what happens, and if they say no, then reapply. You know,
okay.
and sometimes from what I've heard, they have like, oh, we only accept X amount of people like at this time, or we're like our window isn't open or whatever. And so, you could not get in and then just apply again later and they do let you in. So
Okay.
I don't know Fair's
It's okay.
internal workings, but that's what I've heard. So since you already have a little bit of experience with consignment and wholesale and working with stores, I think that might be a good use of your time. And if Etsy isn't working for you, maybe take a break from it. There's no reason you have to have an Etsy. And then if you start getting, like wholesale going, I do think having a website would be good on wholesale, but just to minimize and streamline things, and since you seem like there's a lot going on and overwhelming, you might just like put some stuff on the back burner, like post on social once a week, just a lifestyle of here's what I painted, like here's the story behind this, because people are going to relate to stories, and then focus on like an outreach and things like that. For wholesale, I would recommend, let's see, if you're selling at $5, let's do some math on my phone. Okay. If you're selling $5 a print times $6 a print, so that's 30. And if minimum is 150 divided by 30 is 5 prints. So I would take your top 10 best-selling prints and have them available for wholesale before you start reaching out to people. And then make sure they're all the same theme. So that is because if a buyer, who's the person that buys for the store, has to buy your whole line, they don't have a lot of choices, and that isn't a great thing. You want them to minimum have to buy half of what you offer. More is great. More is helpful, but just to streamline things, I would start out with that and then have them all be in the same like zone. Have them be metaphysical store like theme, or have them be fantasy theme, or have them be whatever. And not that they can't or won't buy more, but that way they just have enough options to really pick what is best for their store. Because if they can't meet the minimum order, then they're not going to order.
Yeah. I will say like another thing, I'm glad you brought that up because I would have forgotten. So I actually have like 36 different gods and goddesses that I've done. And I've did research and found that like sometimes having too many options is bad. And like based off of consignment, I know kind of like what sells the best and what doesn't. So I don't know, like, would it be good to like throw all of the gods and goddesses on the catalog, or and then maybe have like a section that's like, here's like recommended like bestsellers, or do I just keep it to like bestsellers and that's it? Because there's about like 10 to 15 that sell pretty often. Like I know that they'll go. And then I have some that just kind of like sit because they're not as well known.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if like having all of them so they can choose is best or just being like, here's what you should have and choose from these.
Are you printing these at home or are you ordering them?
I get them through Cat Print.
Okay, cool. Minimize because then you don't have to have as much stock.
Okay.
So, I actually knew you were gonna ask this question. I wrote down the answer already. So, because I did some math. So, I would suggest 4 to 6 best performing mythological figures. Okay, 2 to 4 pieces that are visually distinct. Because right now it's a white and black portrait on black paper, and they're all positioned pretty much the same. So, like at a glance, they all look really similar. So having a different pose or like being like a different like energy or something like that, like coming from it, like something a little bit more to differentiate. You can definitely stay black and white, but maybe you have like a prop in there that pushes that storytelling a little bit more. Because unless you know who it is, you're not going to know who it is. And I don't know anything about gods or goddesses, so I can't even give you an example of, oh, this one goddess has a sword. So, maybe she has the sword, poking out, and it's on her back in the sheath. I'm making this up. But so like something to differentiate them. And then 1 to 2 experimental listings. And you could rotate those out if they don't work. Like, oh, I'm going to try this. We're going to see if it works. But if you have your top 10 to 15, definitely just use those. And then if you want to rotate stuff in, is try it out, you can, but that way you don't have to stock all this inventory, because the biggest thing that eats up money for people is inventory. Because we're like, oh, we're gonna sell 100, and we select 2, and we're like, great, now I have 98 of them. So I would rather you have 10 good listings that convert really well rather than 30 that compete with each other. Because if someone doesn't buy your strongest piece, they're not going to buy your 27th strongest either.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
would minimize down a little bit because it is very similar at a glance, and I think having a little bit more variety might actually work in your favor.
So are you saying like having variety as in like the product photos that I take, or like making different art instead of them all just being portraits?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you can keep it portraits, but maybe have a hand or an arm, or they're twisting a different way, or zoom out a little bit. Maybe we get a torso, or there's a little bit of a background, or things like that. Because what you have right now, it comes off as very like almost like a character card,
Yeah,
which is fine. But unless you really know a story already, people aren't going to be able to connect with it as well.
for sure.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I recommend for wholesale. In terms of consignment, if it works for you, keep doing it. Sounds good. I'm not a fan of consignment just because it doesn't work how I work, but if you like it, do it. I'm not going to tell you not to do something that's working for you. So yeah, so I think your next step would be to identify your top pieces and then build a little wholesale catalog. So, there's no rush. You are the boss. You can give give yourself a deadline. It could be a week, a month, 6 months, whatever. And then once you have that done, think about getting a very simple website. I go through Squarespace right now for the Launchpad and my Kelly Latham art. I am switching to Shopify because it's going to be an online store. But if you just need somewhere to like be, Squarespace is like I think it's like $8 a month or something, and then like $20 for the year for the domain. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. And I think a website is good for lots of reasons. One, it validates you. You're a real person. You're not just some rando on the internet who's stolen images and going to take people's money. Because, there are people that do that. Two, it gives you something that you own. So Etsy can just poof, go away overnight because we don't have control over it. Same thing with social media, Instagram, TikTok, all that. Like I'm part of this, or I was part of the Society of Children's Books Writers and Illustrators, and they just got rid of hashtags that one time on Instagram, and that's how they were running all their contests. And they went, oh, we have no control. Oh no. And then they had to rebuild their own platform, but like on their website or something. But if you already have it, like from the beginning, that's where you can direct people. You can run a mailing email list through there. So I recommend having a email list for people that they can sign up to just hear about your work. That could be a once a month artist newsletter. Just be like, hey, here's what I did this month, kind of an update. Or it can be an e-commerce email where you're actively trying to sell people things. If you're not gonna like really overhaul your Etsy shop because it sounds like overwhelming and the wholesale might be a better fit, maybe just an artist newsletter is really nice. Could be great.
Okay.
And eventually a wholesale newsletter would be good, but you have to have like wholesale clients to get there. So that would be a next step. But yeah, I think step one, figure out what products you want to offer wholesale. Step two, make the catalog. Step three, make a website. And it could be really simple. It could be one page, wholesale by Christa, whatever you want to call it. And then you
Yeah.
just have your catalog there. And that's it. And then, a link to Fair and your email address. Like it could be really that simple.
Okay.
So my theme of 2026 is simplify. So I'm trying to do that myself. So it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. And then once you have that and you've, taken new product photos and have, a little bit more variety and things like that, then I go apply to Fair once you have that set up. And then once you have your website, you don't have to wait for Fair. You can start reaching out to people. And so I'm a big fan of giving away free stuff. I sell paper. It's very cheap. Not everyone can do that, and I understand that. So even sending a postcard with pictures of what they could order, that works. That's the same. I send a front and back like 4x6. I mean, technically it's a postcard, but there's nowhere to put postage and stuff. It's just like images and then like more images on the front and back. And then I send 2 bookmarks and a sticker, usually, unless there's like some sort of special circumstance when I outreach to people. And so that plus the stamp plus the envelope, it's like $1.70, give or take, per outreach. And I get 4% response normally, which is actually pretty good. And anywhere 3% and up for actual physical mailer response is good. And I follow up with that email, so I'm helping with that. But yeah, and so as soon as you have like a little system set up, you can jump in and start messaging people, and you'll learn as you'll go. You'll get better as you go. Like I've been doing this since 2023, 2022, 2023, something like that. And now 2026, I'm like, oh, okay, that worked really well. I'm going to do more of it, or that didn't work. I'm not going to do that again. And you kind of learn what works for your business because everyone's a little bit different.
Gotcha. You reminded me again another question I have because I was thinking about this before our meeting. With it being chipboard and the cellophane sleeve and stuff, the print itself doesn't really cost that much. But I figured like if I'm gonna do wholesale, I probably need to send it like wholesale looking presentation
Yep,
line.
it needs to be ready. So the bag with the print and then the cardstock, or not the cardstock, the chipboard, that's great. Like that's done.
Okay. And so I haven't quite figured this out yet, and I haven't like done the research, but I'm not sure like if it will fit in a 5x7 envelope. I think it will.
You're gonna want to do boxes for wholesale because you're selling $150 worth of it.
Yeah, I guess I was meaning for like the samplers, where we were talking about sending those out.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how to do that with these prints in a way that's cheap because when I sell it through Etsy, okay.
This is my envelope. It is, let me get the box. I don't remember actually what size it is. I threw away all the boxes. Okay. This is A9. This is, I think, 5.75 by 8.75 inches. So your print would fit in here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, great.
Yep, A9. Let me double check that. Let me just pull up where I ordered them. I get them off Amazon. It's on my resource list. If you haven't checked that out, that actually might be something that you enjoy. It's lesson 1.3 on the Launchpad. Or 1.2. It's 1.2. I lied. It's 1.2. And that's just a big Google Doc with everything I've ever used for my business and direct links to them.
Okay.
Yep. Amazon Basics A9 blank invitation envelopes. And so they actually peel. They have, wrong button. There we go. So it's not a lick. Gross. Also like, well, because like it tastes gross. Why did
No, I hate it. I hate
and so it just peeled. It's just like a sticker.
Nice. Okay, great.
And it's hygienic and people feel better about it and it's easier and things like that. So yeah, and to brand them, I just run them through my printer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put them in and put branding on the back, and
I learned that from you as well. Like a lot of things I've been literally like, I'm like, I can learn so much. So I have done that recently. I did that for Christmas. Yeah.
I'm glad. Okay. So but yeah, that's what I use.
Okay, great. And you said so you also send with your stickers and your bookmarks, you have like a postcard that has like front and
Let me
back.
grab it. I was looking at the pile. I was like, oh, I bet she'd like to see that too. Okay. I get these from gotprint.com, and they're the 4x6 postcards, and they're glossy on both sides. And also in the mailer, I put a handwritten note. I hand wrote it and I print it. So it says, "Hi, I'm Kelly and I draw things. I wanted to connect because I make illustrated stationery and I hope you'll carry my products. I've included some samples for you to enjoy." Smiley face. "My full catalog info is on the postcard. Please email me with questions. Thanks so much. Love, Kelly." And I have just like some art on there that I pulled from a sticker I did. So this is upside down. That's the postcard. And so on the back, front. Okay, so that's one side, and then the back. Ooh, the back is just a bunch of mock-ups of my art.
Okay.
And so it just says, "Hi, I'm Kelly. I draw things. I create cute color for products that make shoppers stop and smile. Easy to merchandise, easy to sell, and perfect for happy, feel-good displays. Helpful info for an order." So this was specifically to the museums for dinosaur stuff. "I have 34 dinosaur SKUs available: bookmarks, stickers, notepads, and coloring books. Order minimum is 150, around 6 to 9 SKUs. Turnaround time is 4 to 10 days with rush orders available if needed. To view Kelly Latham Art's full catalog, visit kellylatham.com/wholesale info or view my products on Fair." And this is ready to order, and it has my email address, and then it has my Fair link, which is kellylatham.fair.com, which they give you. But yeah, that's what I sent. And a couple bookmarks for outreach. And depending on the store, like it'll kind of change what I send. So normally for like bookstores, I'll send a book themed bookmark and then like just like a bestseller bookmark. So I normally send those. But if they have if I know they have a black cat, I'll be sure to send the black cat bookmark or sticker because people I mean, I have a black cat. Look, I have 1, 2, 3. Do you have a black cat?
I do. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. We're the same person. It's wonderful. But I may not always buy it, but I'm gonna stop and look at the black cat merchandise. Okay, yeah. And so when I'm looking at stores to go see if I want to outreach to them, I'll literally go to Google Maps or Google, well, I'll type them in, and on Google Chrome, it's like Google Maps is on the side. I click on it and I'll look inside the store photos and I'll walk through the store and see if I like it and see if it would be a good fit. I look and see if they sell what bookstores called sidelines. It's just anything besides books. It's what I sell, stuff instead of just books. And I'll walk around and I'll look. And if there's a cat, it's a white cat, I'll send the white cat bookmark. If it's a calico, I'll send the calico sticker and kind of like personalize it that way without being super personalized about it.
Yeah.
But I also try to walk the stores just to make sure it's like a fit. Like there are some horror themed bookstores. I am not ever going to be in those horror themed bookstores. Or there are bookstores that are really for African American heritage. I am not one of those people that needs to be in those stores. That's just not my space. So if I walk through, then I know walk through. Because there's no way you can go walk through every store on the planet. I mean, we don't have that much time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that way I'm making sure like it is a space built for me, and it's appropriate for me to be there. Or my products, will they be a good fit? So that's kind of what I do when I go investigate.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So you said that on average you usually get a response about like 4% of the time.
I ran
so
those
like,
numbers last year. I need to rerun this year. But yeah, I'm
okay.
for some reason 4%'s in my head, so I'm gonna go with it. 4%.
Okay. I just have a tendency to like be like, well, like take things personally when they shouldn't need to be personally working on that. But knowing like,
It's
okay,
so
4%.
hard. I so get it. But like the more you do this, the easier it'll get. I know everyone says that. It's a stupid answer, but it is true.
It is true.
Just because it's like I was on a video podcast and I wish they'd post it because I want to clip it. Because I was in a comic store and I was talking about that and I was like, okay, you walk into Target. Are you going to buy everything at Target? No. Some of it you don't like, some of it you don't need. I don't need a dog dish. I have a cat,
Yeah.
Like it's just not necessary. And that's what people feel about our products as well. Like they may like it, it's just not for them, or they don't like it, and that's okay too, because I don't like everything they make either. Right? So I kind of had to wrap my head around that. Now, I mean, I'm like, yeah, just don't take it personal. I still do sometimes, depending, especially if it's like a store I really want and they're just like, meh. And I'm like, but I love you, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
real.
hard. It does get easier, but so far it hasn't gone away for me. So
Yeah,
it's like totally understandable. Everyone feels that way.
for
So
sure.
yeah.
No, it just really helps me knowing because like say like I only have enough to send out like 20 and then like 4% of that's not really going to be that much. But like if you send out 100, that'd be like 4 stores. So instead of me being like, wow, I sent out 20, I didn't hear anything, I'll be like, okay, Krista,
It's a
4%.
numbers game.
Yeah.
I sent, well, here I can look at my sheet. Wholesale. I love Google Sheets. It runs my life. On
Literally,
to
I
me.
actually also have a lot of my consignment stuff through Google Sheets too,
Yeah,
so I get
it's
it.
just great. Okay, so for dinos, I reached out to 196. And then I got, well, I guess I can count them on Fair. Let me log into my Fair. Just so we have like a real number based on that. Okay, so 7 people ordered from me last month, and I have 5 or 6 I've added to my like not right now. Like some of them are like, we would love to, but we're remodeling. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll check back later. So how many was that? I wasn't paying attention.
You said 194 was how many you sent out, and then you got 7, not including the ones that said
Okay,
later. So
plus like 6. So we'll call it 15.
yeah, so that's
So
15 divided by 194 is like 0.077.
wow,
If it,
that worked really well. See, I had no idea. So yeah,
yeah,
it
makes
worked.
sense. Yeah,
Well, and so that was the mailer and then the email follow-up as well.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's good to know for
Yeah.
sure.
Because like how many artists have you seen online and go, oh, they're cool, and you follow them and you never think of them again just because they're not top of your mind? But if
Yep.
they message you, be like, hey, I exist. They're like, oh, you do exist. I do like your work. That's right. It's kind of the same thing because store owners, I mean, you run a business. We're busy. We
Mhm.
don't have enough time to do anything.
It's true.
So,
Yeah. And I
okay.
mean, like, on average, people take like, I think it's like 7 times they have to see you.
Yes, I said
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
you know who said that? Katie Hunt of Paper Cam.
Yeah.
But it's true. So, and I even counted out for someone the other day where it was probably on the TikTok that I showed you guys. Where I was like, okay, initial outreach on mail, and then social media, and then email, and then they're on my email list, and then they get the postcard that there's a sale, and then they actually fill their cart, and then they actually check out.
Hmm.
And that
Yep.
is short. Okay. Like normally there's a lot more fingers involved there. So,
Yeah. It's crazy.
okay. So you're on the form. Okay. So you said 2 foundational systems in the next 90 days. So I think one foundational system is good because then you're not overwhelmed. And so I think your foundational system is going to be wholesale, where you're going to pick your top products, you're going to build your catalog, you're going to make a website, you're going to make new photos, you're going to apply to Fair, and you're going to start researching people that you could send wholesale to. Does that sound like a system that will work for you to try in the next 90 days?
Yes, literally, that
Wonderful.
helps so much. Like even just talking to you and then me just kind of like expressing like, actually, no, I don't think I really like this. It like really helped me, and then everything else is like, okay, I feel like so much more confident now after talking about this.
Wonderful. That's so
Yeah.
good. Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Yay. All
For
right.
sure.
Any last questions about that before we wrap?
Let's see. So you had recommended Squarespace because I was looking at that anyways, like doing, okay, no, this is a better question. What do you use for newsletter stuff? I'm trying to figure that out
Ooh,
and it's really confusing.
Squarespace, I do.
Okay.
So okay, for now. All right. So products. I'm Kelly Latham Art. Okay, it's becoming an umbrella. I guess it's more of a house. It's becoming
Yeah.
a house, and I'm gonna have different rooms, and I'm gonna have the Launchpad. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have Kelly Draws Things, which is products. It's a cat. Do I have my logo? No, it's over there. Yeah, it's over there. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and so I'm very excited about my new pink cat logo.
Oh, I'd like to see it if you want to go get it. You can show it to me if you want.
Yeah, I do. Okay, here.
Okay, show it to me. Yeah.
I'm starting to send them out. I'm starting my transition and I'm like restocking product with it. So like here's it is on the very
Oh,
first bookmark that the public is seeing. You're the public, you're the first.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm letting people know like, hey,
Aw.
I'm shifting. What do I say? Hello, and thank you for your order. You may start seeing Kelly draws things on some products. This is the product brand under Kelly Latham Art, where my illustrations become stationery and gifts. Some same work, same quality, just clearer branding as the shop grows. Thanks for being part of the next chapter. And I got my little cutie.
So cute.
Um, love her. I call everything a him, and I have misgendered her twice now. So
Yeah.
we're just an ambiguous pink cat.
We love it.
But okay, so that was a tangent. For Launchpad, I'm staying on Squarespace because I'm not selling anything.
Okay.
For selling my products, I am starting a Shopify shop because it is more e-commerce friendly and it has more analytics and things like that. I've been selling on Squarespace for years. I've just outgrown it. I have too much stuff going on and I just need more options.
Okay.
So Kelly Art is becoming fun art, which I'm excited about. But because I am going off Squarespace, I'm going to stop my email there as well. I'm going to use Klaviyo, which is an e-commerce. It starts with a K, KLV. There's a Y. Let me just go. I can't spell out loud. I can't do math out loud.
Is it
Klaviyo.
KLAV? You have to do
KLAVIYO.
IYO.
I'm
Okay.
gonna use them. I was looking. They actually have a little like free, mini plan. So start there if you want. But I do like Squarespace's system, and that's what I'm going to continue to use for the Launchpad. And it's kind of like do you want fries with that? It's like an add-on to your Squarespace subscription. You can add on a marketing plan. You can add on a commerce plan
Yeah.
and kind of like puzzle piece together what you need. I do like the Squarespace stuff. The emails that you see from the Launchpad are through Squarespace. But
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm switching to Shopify, I want to do the different like e-commerce specific, more
Gotcha.
complicated mailing lists and stuff. And so that's what I'm doing for Klaviyo
Okay.
eventually. Not right now. Everything's still on Squarespace as of today, February 5.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
you're good. Go ahead.
So like, and I'm still super new to this. It was like one of the things where I was trying to figure out what to do, and I know that I do need to do this no matter what. Like set up a newsletter and stuff. Do you just like if you do Klaviyo, do you have to hook it up to your website? Like, how does that
Don't
work?
know yet. But the good thing
Okay.
about Shopify is that it talks to everyone. Like it talks to Fair. And my inventory is going to be synced, and I'm really excited about it. So I assume Klaviyo and Shopify talk to each other because no one has told me
Okay.
they haven't, because no one would use it if it didn't. That's my understanding. I don't know
Yeah.
how, but I assume that they do.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Okay. I'll look into that some more,
Yeah.
and everything then. Okay. That was basically my last question, was just like the newsletter, like what that would look like, and then maybe like website stuff, because I was already kind of looking at that anyways, because I only have like a card slash
Yeah.
link tree. But I think, yeah. I don't know. I'm also thinking about maybe just going ahead and doing Shopify, because I know eventually if I want to do well, I mean, you do it through Patreon though, so maybe it doesn't matter, like the mail club thing.
Shopify is 40
Um,
bucks a month.
yeah, so maybe just Squarespace for
Well, because
now.
I
And then
signed up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a year to build it, and I was like, oh my God, that's that's so much. I'm not selling anything yet. I'm not
yeah.
making any money. So I actually have it paused. It has like a $9 like pause and build per month. I switched to that. Wish I'd known that for this month, but I didn't. And then I'm like, okay, instead of 2027, it's gonna be in June. We're gonna migrate over
Yeah.
faster. So it did motivate me, so that worked out. But it is kind of pricey. Patreon is free unless people are on it. Then you make money and you get eight. I was literally looking at my analytics today. You get 86% of the money in the end after all the fees.
Okay,
So they
great.
take, 15%, which is standard. Fair takes 15% if they bring you the lead. Oh, so important. Okay. So sorry, I mean to like freak you out. For Fair, they take 15%. Totally normal. It's what a sales rep would take. Okay.
Yeah.
People are like, oh no. I'm like, they brought you hundreds of dollars. They get 15%. It's normal.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you bring the lead to your store, you don't have to pay that. It's zero. So what I do is I have, I'm gonna grab it. This is a gooseneck clamp. It clamps to my, do you know what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll
It like
explain it
plans
for
to your
anyone watching the
desk.
recording who doesn't. Yeah. So it clips to my table, and then this holds my phone, and then it can like hold it down or like hold it up, and like I can record.
Yeah.
So I will have my stack of envelopes that I have filled with stuff, and I put stamps on it and the addresses. And then I lay them on my table and I have my camera and I flip through them. And I have a video of all of them that I sent. And then on the iPhone, when you swipe up, it'll show you the date it was taken. And that, in addition to the picture of the postcard I sent with my fair link, is how I prove I brought that lead. So it takes a lot of my commissions down to zero. But you have to do the video before they order. So do it before you send them, because otherwise you don't have the video. Now, you can just take photos of the individual envelopes, but like I said, I send out 200 at a time. I'm not going to sit there and do 200 photos. I just do the video and I can pause it and then swipe up and it'll have the timestamp on it.
Okay, it took me a second to kind of understand what you're saying. So you're saying you take a video of the lead. Do you have to get like the addresses for each individual one on there? Okay.
Yeah, I save it on my phone, marketing mailer videos. So I literally just set it up and there's me and I just
Okay.
flip and flip. Oh my God, it takes forever, but it saves me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in the end.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And then, so I pause it, and I go, oh, they ordered from me. Cool. I swipe up and then it has the address there. And then it also has the data of like when it was taken. And if they order within 3 months, then you get the commission taken off. If they don't, it is still 15, even though you sent them stuff. So that's why I try to follow up with the email. Because then if they reply to the email, I've contacted them about it. And we've had like a chat. So it's not avoidable. Because like I had 2 people order from mailers I sent out last February during last month. And so I didn't get the commission save. But I still got the order. So
Yeah. So you're saying that
it's just nice when you can save the commission.
no, for sure. For sure. That helps a lot. So you take the video. Is the video alone the only thing that you show for proof, or do you have to show the email as well?
I send them everything I have. So I don't send them the actual video. I send them the screenshot of the specific envelope with the timestamp on it, because that's what they want.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then I usually just, as I'm packing up orders, I take a photo of the front and the back of the postcard. Be like, look, it says fair on it. It has my website. And then now the thing is there, I'll order like a bunch of postcards and send them out over the next like few months. The automated system of Fair will read the date of the photo sometimes instead of the actual photo. So like if you took the photo like a year ago, because that's when you had them printed, it'll be like, no, it doesn't count. But you can like be like, it does. I'm going to argue it. And then a real person comes and goes, oh yeah, of course it does. And they give it to you. So if it bounces back, don't freak out. It happens all the time. It's just like, it's looking at the metadata of when the photo was taken, even if like you did a more recent batch. So that'll happen sometimes too.
Gotcha. So is this something that you do like after they order? Like, how do they like reach out to you and they're like, hey, do you have proof that you sent them? Like
on Fair, it'll be like 15% commission. Change it. I'm like, yeah. And so I'll change. It'll say, is this a lead or an existing customer? I'll say it's a lead. They'll say, what did you do? And I'll tell them, and you upload the photos and it goes off to the system and it does it.
Okay, great. So it's basically just like something where like once they check out or you go to your orders, it'll say 15%. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's like a button. And like if you can't find it, just like, during the Patreon Q&A, be like, where is it? And I can
Like,
show
Kelly,
you.
help me.
Share your screen. Let me show you.
No, for sure, for sure. Okay, great. That's really helpful. Thank you. I'm sure eventually I probably would have been like, hi, Kelly, could you help me with this?
Yeah.
But no,
well, and so that's the nice thing about this, where like it's like a one-time call, but with Patreon, you have the opportunity to like do 30 days and be like, oh, I have a follow-up question. Oh, look, the Q&A is coming up. And even if you're not there, you can put it in the question box and I can answer it and you can see the recording. So that's kind of the system I built. So it's not like one and done, never talk to me again, type of thing. Like so we can still chat in that like public space. Because also, if one of you is learning, someone else is probably learning too, and they might appreciate the question.
Yeah. No, I mean, even just like your free content was like, I've learned a lot. Like, I've really been like, yeah, they say like 7 days, and yeah, I made a list and this and that. And now I'm like at the point where I'm like overwhelming myself. So I did the Q&A thing, and you were like kind of talking about your process, and I was like, oh, that's a game changer. And then you sent out the email, and I was like, that would be a game changer too. Let me just try that. And then now this is like a game changer, and I'm like, okay, wow, this is great. So, like,
This
no,
is so good. I'm glad. Well, because this took me 15 years to learn. Now I do have, okay, have you ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
vaguely. I haven't
Okay,
seen like,
so there's a character, and whenever he throws out like a random percentage, it's always 82. My random number is always 73. So let me see
yeah.
actually how many videos I actually have scheduled for the Launchpad as of now for like past one. 93.
Oh,
As of right now, I have things planned out until September 17, 2027, because it's one a week, right? And now it is 20 months, but this is everything I've learned over 15 years. And I think we're going in the order that makes the most sense. So like we're working through brand identity right now, and then we're going to get into product development and manufacturing and like how I make products and stuff. And that's like a big chunk of it because I feel like that like those are the questions I get the most are like, how do you even make it? I'm like, oh, let me show you how I make my fabric, and things like that.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm glad that you're finding it helpful because I was like, I think worksheets are helpful. Do they think worksheets are helpful? And people are liking them, which is
Let me
good.
give you feedback, girl. Everything that you've done has helped so much. I mean, like I've I've been like on and off trying to figure out our business stuff, and I'm definitely somebody like I get overwhelmed so easily, and I also get very overwhelmed with people who like they're great, but they don't have like this weird like natural like friendliness and stuff, and you kind of have like both, and so like you're just like happy-go-lucky, and I watch it, and I'm like,
Thank you.
okay, if she does this and she's describing how to do this, I know I can do it too. And it's just like literally just let me be like, if I'm the first one to say like it has literally been game changer for me.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
glad.
Like I even went after you like recommended the proof to product thing, and I was like, okay, let me look into this. And like I
Her
was like, I
podcast is so nice. I love listening to it.
oh, I haven't checked it out. I was like kind of intimidated, and I signed up for the mail stuff and was kind of confused by it. And I was like, okay, I'll just, and like I had seen it because you had recommended it before, and then you were like, oh no, I'm launching the Launchpad. You can get early access for $6. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this because I trust Kelly. I trust Kelly right now.
Yay!
Okay.
Wonderful. Yeah, so proof to product is, let me like spiel it from how I understand it, because I'm like actively in it. So Katie Hunt runs Proof to Product, and it is a brand that helps people with wholesale specifically. And so she has a podcast also called Proof to Product, and that's free. Okay, free
Yeah.
every week. She does. I haven't. She uploaded today. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to tomorrow on my drive to work. And then they have Paper Camp, which is the like intensive like learn essentially how to like do wholesale from scratch type of thing.
Gotcha.
And that costs money. So podcast is free. Paper Camp costs money. And then they have other free modules and then paid modules like little mini things
Yeah.
um like interview series and things like that. So
Okay.
I recommend listening to the podcast because it's nice to just hear other people talk about wholesale from like different perspectives. Even if it's like candles, it has nothing to do with me. I still learn something because I'm like, oh, I didn't think about talking to people that way. Or, oh, that's really good to know about the industry. I won't do that, if that's a problem or
Yeah.
things like that. So it's just kind of nice to have like things something I can listen to about wholesale because there's not a lot out there. But additionally, she has what's called labs, and it is a paid club essentially. And so it's like a bunch of other products wholesale people, and most people have done paper camp and then they go into labs, and it's kind of like a support group. Are you old enough to have been on Facebook at any point?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm
Okay.
20,
Right.
28.
Okay, perfect. So I don't know. Some people are like, Facebook's for old people. I'm like, yeah, shut up.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
old.
Okay.
It's okay.
And and you have your Facebook page, and I remember that now, so that was a dumb question. But so it's like a Facebook group, but without the Facebook. That's
Yeah.
what Labs is. And so she has like monthly speakers come in from that run stores and industries, and like recently, they've had Biff Ulm, who runs, I can never remember the name of his company. He sells stickers at like a massive, my cat's here, sorry, like a massive, okay. Well, he's giant.
Oh,
He says hello. He says,
thank
feed me. And I said, you ate at
you.
5 o'clock. You don't need any more food, but thank you. And Biff Olm, and so he runs a sticker company. He comes just and like talks about stickers, and that they had the anthropology buyer who buys products for anthropology like a few months ago. I think it was October. And so she has like guests, and then they have like things you can go to and things like that. So
Okay.
it's like a good online community for people who
Yeah,
are like doing wholesale and like needing being like, oh my God, what does that mean? You know, has anyone else seen this type of situation? So
awesome.
but yeah, so that's what Proof Your Product is. But definitely like subscribe to the podcast and just
Yeah,
listen to it weekly. It's free
I
and it's
definitely will.
great. I think it's a really good source of information.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I feel really good. I
Great.
don't really have any other questions or anything like that at the
Wonderful.
current
Love to hear
moment.
it.
You have literally like ascended from the heavens and helped me out of my.
I sparkle. You're all.
You're right. You did.
All
But
right.
yeah, no,
So
I
so
mean,
to close
seriously.
out the call for people listening to the recording, tell people how they can find you and support you in your work.
Oh, cool. I'm Christa. I own Luminis Soul Studios. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I also have a TikTok, which hopefully video content will come soon. If you like fantasy stuff, reader stuff, or like witchy metaphysical stuff, you can find me there, and I'm really excited about it.
All right. Great. Well, thank you so much. I had such a good time, and
You.
I hope you have a really good night. And I'll see you on Patreon.
Okay, see you then. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's recap what we figured out in this call. So we chose one primary growth channel for her business, which ended up being wholesale. And so this creates momentum. You're not doing a bunch of different stuff. You can focus on one thing and really drive it into growing. We streamlined the product line to the strongest and most cohesive pieces. And we strengthened legitimacy with a simple website, as well as a clean catalog and real product photography instead of mock-ups. So if you want to apply this to your business, start here. Go to your catalog, your website, your listings, wherever your products are, and list out your top 10. That's going to help you narrow down into one theme that you can focus on. Then draft a simple one-page worksheet where you've got images and SKUs and prices and minimum order quantities, and that's going to help you get your wholesale catalog going. And then go make a list of 20 stores that will genuinely match your work, and that's who you start reaching out to. So it's refinement. You're not reinventing anything. You're working with what you already have, so that should save you time and energy and make it easier, which are all good things. So if you like this guidance, I do offer one-on-one strategy calls through the SleepyHead Business Launchpad, and the link is below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.